Hey, Pathfinder, have you become so frustrated with church that you left? Do you say you're spiritual but only call on God when you're in trouble? And do you feel like you could brush up on your knowledge about faith? Well, you came to the right place. Pull up a seat because I'm going to help you discover how to activate your faith. Let's get going.
I've been in the pews and stood behind the pulpit. I know that faith isn't easy and church can be hard. No matter how large the crowd, I realized the greatest ministry was done one-on-one. So I created this Sunday spiritual spot to let some light in, awakening your spirit and stirring your soul. Pathfinder, join me in living a fulfilled life and empowering our world now.
Pathfinder, today I'm going to guide you on how to discover faith. Before we start, I need to advise you to be as honest as you can about this topic. I feel like I'm going to say faith a lot during this video. So for the first few people who actually track it and let me know how many times I say it throughout the video, I will give you a free copy of my book, The Call Path, Pathfinder's Guide to Discovery, just for fun. So leave comments below and I'll reach out. Thank you so much. Let's go. For many, faith is a sensitive topic. Some of you have been forced into faith through your religion, and others have been forced out of faith by the same religion. Some people are excited about the topic and others cringe when it arrives. So let's be open and honest, putting all of that aside to discover what faith really means to our lives. When something hits you, I want you to share your story of faith and leave your comment below. All right, let's begin. When asked, most people would say, sure, I have faith. I probably would say the same thing. I went to theology school, I pastored, I preached, I studied the Bible, and I probably would just respond, yep, I have faith, but not anymore. Let me share a story with you that changed how I viewed faith and my response to it. When I was in elementary school, we had an art project. We were given clay and told to make something for our parents. Most of the kids immediately started making vases and mugs. And when our teacher asked me what I was going to make, I said I wasn't sure. She asked another student, he said, I'm going to make an ashtray for my mom so I don't get ashes all in my hair. Now, most of the kids laughed because we just thought he had dandruff. When it got back around to me, for those of you who don't know, I was adopted. So I wanted to make something special for my dad. And after a long day of work, he would come home and relax in his favorite chair and watch TV. So an idea was born, a bear in a chair watching TV. Now, picking up the clay, I realized I didn't know much of what I was doing. So as time ran out, I realized I didn't have enough time to put legs on my chair or even create a television set. Who has time for that? So I ended up with something more like a bear in a beanbag. Well, I was really depressed, but we left our creations overnight to go in the oven to harden. The next day, we were given a chance to paint. Now, I just knew I could make up for it. So while other kids were painting their red vases and blue mugs and a yellow ashtray, I decided to get creative and make a mixture of colors, something special. I painted and left it to go back in the oven to become glossy. The next day, I couldn't wait to get my creation to take it home. But when I got it, my jaw dropped along with my heart. My colors didn't look anything like what I used. My teacher told me, Byron, the colors change a bit in the fire. So here I am, walking through the front door, crying, handing my parents this creation that didn't look anything like I wanted. My mom and dad look at it. They look at me, and my dad hugs me while my mom takes the bear in a beanbag and puts it on the mantle over the fireplace. That's where we put objects of distinction, awards, and family photos. I couldn't believe it. They loved it. What? It was nothing like what I expected. That moment taught me 3 things about faith that no book or theology school ever did. Number 1, faith is believing you are special. My bear wasn't perfect, and I was adopted, but there was something special about me. 1 Peter 2:9 says that you are a chosen race, a royal priesthood, a consecrated nation, a special people for God's own possession. You are more than a creation. You are a royal son and daughter of the Creator. Faith is like being the prodigal son standing in the pig pen of life and remembering that you don't belong there. It's waking up and putting on the crown that gives you access to the kingdom. When you enter that new relationship, when you interview for that new job or apply for a new home loan, you remember your worth. It's okay to be special. Number 2, faith is believing that you are loved. When my parents saw my imperfect, unfinished work, they saw God. Why? They had faith. 1 John 4:7 says, "Beloved, let us unselfishly love and seek the best for one another, for love is from God, and anyone who loves others is born of God and knows God through personal experience." Because I was made by God, they loved what God loved. When you look at your enemies, do you have enough faith to love them like God loves them? Better yet, when you look in the mirror, do you have enough faith to see what God loves? Because sometimes your worst enemy is actually yourself. You want so desperately not to be LGBT, not to be a cheater, not to be lonely, not to be an addict, that you hate yourself. It was that thought that brought me to suicide, but I learned I was loved even if I was empty-handed. PathFinder, it takes faith to know that you are loved even if you have nothing to bring to the table. And that's a good segue to point 3. Faith is believing that you are secure. Being adopted, I gained an unknowing fear of rejection. So I stood there shaking in the fear that my parents would reject my gift because of how poorly it was constructed. Then something happened. Deuteronomy 4:6 says, "Be strong and courageous. Do not be afraid or tremble in dread before them. For it is the Lord your God who goes with you. He will not fail or abandon you." They didn't love it. They loved who made it enough to secure my feelings and honor the gift. PathFinder, if you are a preacher, an entrepreneur, an artist, or anyone who gives a service, remember these words: you are secure. The Call Path Creator will go before you and work on the heart of those who will receive your gift. It takes faith to believe that when you walk in the door, you don't have to be perfect to be praised. Here's the simple truth. You don't just need faith to start, you need faith to finish. It was easy for me to build my bear, to start a business, begin writing books, and even do these videos. The real faith is in presenting the bear to my parents, giving that presentation to a client, doing a book tour, and giving you another video that shares my soul. Faith bothers people because you only need faith for the spots where you feel unloved, not special, and insecure. Faith prods your insecurity and forces you to confront what is uncomfortable in your life. After you face the fires of life, you may not look like what you imagine, but when you get firm in your faith, you will realize just how amazing you are. You're a Pathfinder. You deserve the best. I believe that. Do you? If you're enjoying this content, comment, subscribe, and share. Together, we're building a community of Pathfinders, leaders, changing the world while living fulfilled lives. Know I love you. Stay the path.